Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. In The Royalist, Tom Sykes had a very keen observation about the King's meeting with Harry. Sykes writes, "There is a reason monarchs don't usually say they have a terminal, incurable disease. The moment people know a king is dying, power starts to drain away from them and flow to their heir." So why did Charles make the disclosure? It has been portrayed as him being a modern, transparent mortal, but I have been told that the truth is actually more nuanced than that. I have little doubt that a keen student of royal history like Charles would understand the foolishness of a king pre-announcing his own death. This context explains almost every current royal subplot, most notably Harry's attempts at making peace with his father by meeting him during his UK visit. William hates Harry, so Harry's only hope is to get a settlement with the family done while his father is still alive, even while William is asserting his authority and giving interviews about his plans for reshaping the monarchy in his own image. Charles has been looking increasingly tired and weak in recent months. I was actually shocked by how hollow his eyes looked in official photographs released yesterday of him with an MBE recipient and the Premier of South Australia. And I wonder how Harry felt seeing him in person for the first time in 19 months. I'd say it brought home to him the political foolishness of the way he publicly detonated his relationship with his father for the sake of the book and the Netflix films. I honestly suspect that when Harry wrote that book, he thought he would have 20 years to make up with his father. And why not? His father, who he now resembles so vividly, lived to 99. We can all now see that that is not going to be the case. Harry took a critical first step yesterday, but he might not want to leave it too long before he takes the next one and brings his kids over to meet their grandfather, the King. Public support for the monarchy has dropped to its lowest point in 4 decades in what is being described as a major setback for King Charles. According to the latest British Social Attitudes survey by the National Centre for Social Research, just 51% of people believe it is important to keep the monarchy, compared with 86% when the question was first asked in 1983. The data shows that 1 in 3 people, 31%, now believe the monarchy is not important, while 15% say they favour outright abolition, up sharply from just 3% in 1983. When asked to choose directly, however, a majority still backed the monarchy, with 58% preferring it to an elected head of state, compared with 38% who favoured replacing it. The findings come just days before the state visit of US President Donald Trump. Royal commentator Duncan Larcombe has suggested that Meghan was never prepared to make the kinds of sacrifices often expected of royal mothers. Speaking to OK, he said, "Meghan clearly hates being apart from her children, and when Harry has come to the UK, Meghan hasn't come with him and has been blamed for snubbing Britain as a result. I think it runs deeper than that. She wants to be a hands-on mum and was never prepared to make the sacrifice that royal mums have to make." Larcombe added that senior royals also face the difficulty of giving their children freedom without exposing them to overwhelming scrutiny. If you've got children and you're a senior member of the royal family, your biggest challenge is to stop them growing up in a prison. Kate, for example, can't just pop down to the shops with George, he said, pointing to the ever-present need for protection officers and planning. Meghan's Netflix series appears to have bombed, and a leading brand strategist suggests the link between show and shop was never made plain enough. Nick Eade, a UK brand and culture expert, told Newsweek she had not done enough to make it clear those were as-ever products, and after a lackluster response to Season 2, she may now have missed a golden opportunity. That could matter for Netflix as well. The streamer holds a stake in as-ever and, by extension, its profits. Eade said, "The viewership is down. People don't really care about With Love. There's some fans who will always be appreciative of it. For Netflix, the headache here is that this is going to convert into sales for their product. Are they actually going to make money from this? If you think about it, they haven't really made any money just yet. Their investment must have been huge into actually creating the product and building the brand, rebranding it, and putting it out there. And this Season 2 is a missed opportunity, which could have been a glorified infomercial if they'd got it right. It is a problem because obviously they filmed it back to back. If they had done 2 separate seasons, they could have done a lot of product placement with her as ever brand, but obviously when the show first started, they didn't have any products. So you would see her using some flower sprinkles, or you would see her drinking a glass of rosé, but you wouldn't actually attribute that to as ever, so there isn't crossover here. That's why there is a massive problem. Obviously, she's got a Christmas special, and hopefully she'll be able to include some of her actual products in there too, he said. In the LA Times, Mary McNamara wonders, why is Meghan Markle wasting her time with love when she could just go back to acting? Her suggestion? Call Ryan Murphy. He knows what it's like to have a slow start with the streamer, and I can't imagine he would turn down the chance to have the Duchess of Sussex appear in one of his many franchises. I would definitely watch Markle face off with Nash should Grotesquerie get a season 2. Horror is chic right now. Call Shonda Rhimes. Markle would fit right into Bridgerton. Hell, she could double up as a consultant. Follow the path of least resistance and commission a mystery series. Murder in Montecito, say, in which a winsome young woman, recently married into a powerful family, tries to break into a wealthy and prestigious community, only to be ensnared in a web of deadly secrets. Grab Olivia Colman. Make her the Texan matriarch of a political dynasty and do a thinly disguised, fictionalized version of actual events. It seems a shame Markle can't exploit or leverage the kind of I'm suddenly royalty and it's not that great tales that helped launch the careers of Claire Danes and Anne Hathaway and keep the Hallmark Channel in business. Just think about how mad the British press would get about that. More Palace in just a moment. A new Channel 5 documentary has placed the Princess Royal 5th on its Royal Rich List 2025, estimating her fortune at around £12 million. Despite being described as notoriously thrifty, Princess Anne is said to have quietly built significant wealth over the decades. Anne began her work as a full-time royal at just 21, with her early salary valued at about £100,000 in today's money. Her finances grew following her 1973 marriage to Mark Phillips, when she was gifted Gatcombe Park, a 730-acre Gloucestershire estate now thought to be worth £6 million. In addition, the program claims she held a jewelry collection valued at around $5 million. This includes a pearl necklace worth $1 million given to her by the late Queen Elizabeth II, as well as several historic tiaras, among them the diamond festoon, the aquamarine pine flower, and the meander tiara. Anne has also been recognized for her work ethic, having carried out more than 11,000 engagements over 5 decades. Charlotte Griffiths, editor-at-large for the Mail on Sunday, remarked, Princess Anne is the best value for money the royal family has. She works more than any other working member of the royal family, and she's completely frugal. I don't think she's been on a shopping trip for decades. The Royal Rich List 2025, Who's Worth the Most, will air today on UK's Channel 5. And before we wrap up today's Palace Intrigue, I want to tell you about something special we've been working on. You know, we love covering royal stories from around the world, and we've just launched an incredible new series that goes deep into one of the most shocking royal scandals in recent history. Crown and Controversy, you've seen the first season. Season 2 is also starting next week. You can get all these seasons ahead of everyone else if you're a subscriber. But we have another new one, Crown and Controversy, Norway's Royal Rebels. Tells the true story of Princess Märtha Louise of Norway and her relationship with Hollywood shaman Durek Verrett. When the princess who claimed to talk to angels fell for the shaman, their fairy tale became a nightmare that divided Norway and forced the royal family into unprecedented crisis mode. Crown and Controversy, Norway's Royal Rebels will be available tomorrow wherever you get your podcasts. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave us a nice review if you're enjoying the shows. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.